So, might we have a cure for type 1 diabetes within the next few years? I think we might. And again, type 1 diabetes, the immune system attacks the islet cells in the pancreas. You can use things like an Omnipod 5 and insulin pump, or you can use a Dexcom G7 continuous glucose monitor along with that and get reasonable control of type 1 diabetes. But transplants have been tried, but the foreign islet cells get rejected. And that happens both from the T cell side on the top of this slide and the B cell side on the bottom of this slide. So can we avoid the use of immunosuppressants to prevent rejection? So a company called Sana Biotechnology came out with an announcement in January of 2025. And they said that in Sweden, they had a type 1 diabetic, 42 years old, a male, and he was transplanted in the forearm with some genetically engineered islet cells. And the cells appeared to be making insulin. So here's a picture of the team that placed it in the forearm, in the muscle. And again, age 42, long-standing type 1 diabetes. So they did 3 genetic modifications to these islet cells, which happen to be cadaver cells. They knocked out the MCH1 and MCH2 cells and also overexpressed CD47. CD47 says, "Don't eat me," to the macrophages. So you get some immune protection there. Sana's approach to treat type 1 diabetes was assessed in this study, and really all the check marks were hit in terms of safety, cell survival, and lack of T cell and B cell attacks on these genetically modified islet cells. And again, these can be placed right in the muscle, blood vessels grow into them, and it's a relatively minor surgery. Steve Haar is the CEO, he's an energetic guy, and Gary Meininger is the chief medical officer who actually has type 1 diabetes himself, as does his child. So Sana had some pretty good news. The stock went up and then has fallen a bit since then. They have a long way to go, but they are off to some, I think, exciting news this month. And we'll have to follow that company. Now, stem cell researcher Douglas Melton leaves Harvard to go to Vertex. He also is a type 1 diabetic with 2 kids with type 1 diabetes. And he is now with Vertex. The big one for Vertex is VX264. That's the one that can be used without immunosuppressants. The one up above, VX880, given in the portal vein, has to use immunosuppressants. And Vertex is also working on some gene-edited cells. That seems to be a trend in all these companies. So another company would be Sernova. They have a pouch which is placed under the skin of the abdomen. There's Jonathan Rigby, the CEO, who also has type 1 diabetes. And the Sernova pouch does require immunosuppressants right now. However, Sernova is working with Evotech to try to get some cells where they wouldn't have to use immunosuppressants. Seraxis, another company, and here's a mouse study showing improvement in the diabetes with the transplanted device. They were going to use this Seragraft, but it appears that they're pivoting to gene editing. And again, that seems to be the overall trend in these companies. So, of course, the big boys are working on this as well. Novo Nordisk is working on type 1 diabetes, as is Lilly. So, and they are very interested in some of these smaller companies' progress. So it will take years to even attempt to get FDA approval, but there is hope that these treatments could actually cure type 1 diabetes. So gene-edited stem cells do look promising. Let's keep an eye on Sernova Biotechnology and these other companies and hope for the best. Type 1 diabetes is a very tough disease to treat. Thank you for watching. This is Stephen Vig in San Antonio.